Now, one of the main issues that we have when it comes to resourcefulness is being able to break out of the norm, being able to find ways to use the things that we've got to get different outcomes, to get better outcomes as well. And the reason is when we approach how do we actually use our resources, how do we allocate them, we tend to rely on conventional solutions. We tend to just go with what's the norm, what other people do, and we don't really explore different perspectives or unconventional ideas, because that's not really our main point. Our main point is to go out and get the thing, or to go out and use our money wisely. And we tend to just go with the flow. We tend to just do what's expected of us. There is a different way, and this is around cultivating divergent thinking. And when we do this, and divergent thinking is really key when it comes to resourcefulness, this can actually have a big change in how you allocate your resources efficiently, and it can help you to find new solutions for old problems as well. So let's take a little bit of a look at the neuroscience behind divergent thinking. And then we'll get into a couple of strategies on how we can actually foster the cognitive skill of divergent thinking as well. So first of all, well, what is it? Now, divergent thinking is really one half of neural creativity. So divergent thinking is the ability to generate a whole bunch of new ideas and come up with a whole bunch of new perspectives and solutions. So we want to really depart from conventional linear thinking, and we want to encourage the exploration of multiple possibilities, sometimes crazy, outlandish possibilities as well. And when we do that, we activate our prefrontal cortex, because that's a lot of the executive functioning as well. But we also activate our anterior cingulate cortex as well, because that helps us to monitor and resolve conflicts. So while we're activating the parts of our brain that are responsible for cognitive flexibility and creative thinking, we're also activating the parts of our brain that are responsible for monitoring and resolving conflicts. And so what that lets us do is to be able to think ideas, solve whether or not they're any good, and then navigate through these different options so that we can select the most suitable ones for resource allocation. And when we get to the end, divergent thinking is paired up with what they call convergent thinking as well, which is whittling all of those ideas down to the best ideas. And the interplay of this divergent and convergent thinking is the basis of neural creativity as well. So when we talk about how do we actually go out and cultivate divergent thinking, this is, it's really cool, because, there are people that seem to just be able to come up with ideas and ideas and ideas. And then there's other people that you go to and we're like, we always say they're too analytical. They're not creative enough. And, I don't really buy into that analytical type of a person, creative type of a person. You are what you practice. I'm a very analytical person. I've worked a lot in very detail-oriented industries with very detail-oriented clients, but I'm also very creative. I've played music since I was 6 years old, so you can be both, you can be anything. It's up to you who you want to be. So even if you're that really analytical person, or if you're somebody who's naturally creative as well, there are things that you can do to start to incorporate proactive divergent thinking. And this is going to help you solve problems, unlock new perspectives, and come up with new ideas essentially. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to question assumptions. Start by questioning the assumptions that underlie the problem at hand. So how do we do this? Well, think about, what if the existing constraints didn't exist? We did this a lot with our Brilliant scan. People told us, you can't map and measure a lot of the things that you do. And so we said, well, why not? Just because somebody hasn't done it doesn't mean that it's possible. So you need to challenge conventional wisdom so that you can explore alternative approaches as well. And when we do that, we widen the range of potential resource allocation strategies. We found that we needed a whole bunch of different people to be able to solve these problems. So we went from building a very lean research and development team to building a very specialized research and development team that were all able to collaborate effectively. The second thing that you need to do is embrace ambiguity. So resourcefulness and efficiency often involves navigating through uncertain and ambiguous situations and being able to take those ambiguous situations and to create some certainty around it as well. So you need to embrace that ambiguity and view it as an opportunity for creative exploration. How do I find the best ways for this ambiguity to work? How can I leverage this uncertainty to uncover the hidden possibilities here? And in order to do that, you really just need to immerse yourself in it. Allow yourself to sit with that uncertainty and let your mind explore different avenues. Try not Google the answer straight away, like just let your mind wander, see where it takes you, and follow the idea and follow the emotion. You'll end up, honestly, that is just such great advice. If you just take that one thing away and just do that, just wander, just explore your mind, explore the possibilities, and don't just solve that one problem. Like, really go for a bit of a journey. Okay, if I did that in that way, what does that actually mean? That means that this would happen, and why would happen? Oh, well, what would be the impact in that? And then if I took why and I changed it into this thing, we want to go down this rabbit hole. You really want to go down this rabbit hole and really play with it. It's a lot of fun. And what are we really trying to do? We're really just trying to stimulate as many ideas as possible. So we can do that by going down that rabbit hole, or we can do it through more structured practices like brainstorming sessions or mind mapping, where we can actually just throw things down on paper or on a whiteboard without judgment, without evaluation, those crazy ideas. And then we want to build on those crazy ideas. The amount of crazy ideas that we've come up with for ourselves and for clients that we build upon, and then we go, actually, that's not too crazy at all. That's where we want to get to. That's where we start to foster creativity and where we start to generate a really diverse range of possibilities. And this is where we start to do some things that actually matter. Now, you could also do things like creating a really diverse environment. So making sure that we're exposing ourselves to new things, new experiences, new people, new perspectives, talking to a lot of people from other disciplines as well. How would they approach the problem? Collaborating with people, creating cross-functional teams, embracing diversity, all of those kinds of things as well. But here's the last tip. And for me, I love all of this stuff, for all of this cognitive training, emotional training, motivational training, it needs to be outcome focused. We need to know what we're doing it for. And when we know what we're doing it for, we need to have confidence in ourselves to actually be able to go out there and do it and make a change. If you're sitting here and you're half watching this video and you're not engaged, you're only going to get half of it out. You want to get involved. And how do we do that? How do we keep ourselves involved? Well, really, it comes down to being able to encourage that playfulness and that experimentation. And this is, we get old and we think things need to be serious, and they don't need to be serious. So embrace that playful mindset when you're approaching resource allocation challenges. Experiment with different ideas, even if they don't seem like a good fit, even if they seem unconventional initially. Encourage this trial and error approach, because trial and error leads to unexpected breakthroughs. They always say that they imagine a scientist in a lab and we're there and we're eureka. It's not often eureka. It's usually, I didn't think that would happen. Oh, whoops, that was a mistake. Oh, that's interesting. Hold on. Let's explore this. So trial and error is great. We want these unexpected breakthroughs. We want these different ideas. We want to encourage the unconventional so that we can start to get more creative. And that comes through this divergent thinking. We need to get really good at being able to come up with a lot of new ideas so that we can explore those new ideas. And not only is it fun, not only does it allow us to experiment, but it starts to build that connectivity in your brain to be able to come up with these new ideas more often. We're walking that path of creativity more often. And remember, divergent thinking, it's not just limited to resource allocation. We can apply this to different aspects of our life. So Challenge yourself to think divergently, challenge yourself to explore multiple different possibilities and to allocate your resources effectively, because we get good at what we practice. So the more you practice, the more resourceful, the more adaptable your brain becomes. So take a minute to think about, where could you be getting more creative in your life? Where are the areas where you're just on autopilot now? Where are the areas where you haven't even thought about how you're allocating that money or those materials or those resources or that energy in your life? So have a think about how you can take this idea of divergent thinking and apply it to those scenarios in your pursuit of efficiency and of innovation and resourcefulness, and try and highlight one area of your day-to-day life that you are going to try and come up with a whole bunch of new ideas to solve that problem in a new way. And it doesn't have to be anything that is too crazy. It can be something that you do every single day. Have a think about that, and I'll see you next time. Bye now.